Gentleman's game here. You know, if you've ever been in a situation where you blew things with a girl because you didn't know she liked you, it sucks. Knowing that you could have taken things further with her, but you didn't because of self-doubt, it's a terrible feeling, the feeling of regret. I certainly have had my fair share of experiences like that. So today we're gonna go over 4 signals that she might give you when she secretly wants you. Keep in mind that if she doesn't show any of these signs, it doesn't necessarily mean she doesn't like you. She might just be really non-expressive in general. But if she does do any of these, there's a solid chance she finds you attractive. If I could just help one of you guys develop the skill of being able to tell how a girl is feeling towards you, then I'll have done my job. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Number 1 is giving you shit tests. I've gone over what a shit test is in a previous video, but basically it's when a woman will test your frame by teasing you, giving you an obstacle, basically giving you shit. An example can be something like, you know, you're pretty cute, too bad you're a bit short. She's letting you know she finds you cute, but she also throws in a test, right? She's seeing how you respond to her calling you short. If you're a low value, real sensitive guy, then you might be really offended and start getting angry, in which case she'll know that was a complete mistake. But if you keep your cool, reply with something like, oh, it's alright, we're the same height lying down, with a grin, then not only will you have passed her test, it'll make you seem twice as attractive. Now, the reason women do this is because they have to figure out for themselves how confident you actually are, how tight your frame is. But they can't just ask you, hey, are you confident? Obviously, since you're able to just lie. So instead, they hit you with a test like this to see how you respond when she's being difficult. We just briefly went over how to respond to a shit test, but a deeper dive into that topic is better for a separate video entirely, and I've already done one on it. But when you can identify that a girl is constantly giving you these kinds of tests, whether it's teasing you, giving you soft rejections while having flirty body language, overall just giving you crap, there's a really good chance she likes you. Now, it's not really normal for a woman to be giving these tests to you one after the other in rapid fire succession. If she's doing that, it's a pretty big red flag, to be honest. Normally how it'll happen is she'll give you a test, and if you can pass that, then she'll be cool again for a few hours before she throws another test later on. Shit tests might seem annoying to deal with on the surface level, but again, think about it from her perspective. She's already pegged you as this high-value guy in her mind that she's attracted to, so now she wants to make sure that she's making the right choice with these tests. And let me tell you, women will never stop testing you, even when you two are married, because she's always going to want to make sure that you're on your A game as a man. So next time you're not sure whether a girl who constantly throws shit tests at you likes you, chances are she does. Number 2, she makes excuses to see you. Years ago, I remember a classmate of mine, Catherine, would always invite me to hang out with her. Concerts, dinners, things like that. And originally, I never suspected that she was into me. Our interactions were friendly, but I never got the sense she was flirting with me. She really did pass it off like we were just chemistry lab partners who were good enough friends to also hang out outside of school. But then one day I get a text from her best friend, Alexandria. Hey, Catherine's mad at you apparently, FYI. Why? What did I do? I responded. Dude, it's so obvious she's into you. Why haven't you made a move yet on her? Why are you leading her on? Wait, Catherine likes me? I was genuinely taken back by the whole thing. And looking back at it with a bit more life experience and wisdom, yeah, it was pretty obvious she had feelings for me, cause not only would she just invite me to hang out, she'd go out of her way to see me, even when there was no reason for her to. For example, one time she drove 3 hours just to see me in Philly when I casually mentioned I was gonna spend the weekend there. Another example was when we were at a big hangout session with a bunch of her friends as well. Towards the end, right as we were about to go to the after party, I had to leave from the group real quick to run an errand. She was real sad I had to leave, but I told her I'd meet up with her again after I dropped off my package. An hour later, once I took care of business, it starts pouring outside. I didn't have an umbrella, so I text her like, hey Catherine, I think I might just head home. It's starting to pour out here. She instantly replies back, wait, I still want to hang. Stay where you are, I'll come pick you up and bring you to the after party. And she actually came through to pick me up a short while later. Throughout the whole time, I was oblivious that she had feelings for me because I was so inexperienced, and she never actually acted touchy or flirty, which is why I was taken back a few months later when she gave me this huge heartfelt confession for how she wanted to be with me, how we'd be so good together, etc. Unfortunately, I didn't feel the same way back, so I had to let her down, but that was definitely a powerful learning lesson for me to recognize this as a sign of attraction. Number 3. She's nervous or awkward around you. You probably remember a time when you were around a girl you really liked and you wanted to be smooth, but instead you were awkward and nervous. You see, when we're around someone we're really attracted to, it's a very human thing to be awkward because you're nervous, you want to impress them. You know what I mean? How as soon as you like someone, our charisma, our wit, our fun, casual nature just goes right out the window, and this new, strange, awkward, fumbling person shows up. So it makes sense that women do the same thing. Maybe she'll be overly shy or too energetic around you only. It can go both ways depending on her personality and whether she's an introvert or an extrovert. And remember, the core of this awkward behavior comes from nervousness. And there's a difference between her being uninterested and her being nervous. Lots of guys don't know this. For example, I used to think that if a girl didn't talk to me a lot, she simply didn't like me. It wasn't until later on that I realized some of them might have simply been nervous. Again, some girls might not talk at all if they're nervous. Other girls talk too much when they're nervous. You just have to know who you're dealing with. When you do suspect that a girl likes you, but she's just too nervous to come out of her shell, you can make her feel more comfortable so she opens up to you more, by being more friendly and continuing the convo without being threatening. And normally there are some body language tells that a woman will show when she is nervous around you. For example, if she's constantly playing with her hair, it could mean she's nervous and she's using that as a pacifying action to soothe the anxiety. Another one could be constantly rubbing, squeezing, or interlacing her hands together. There's even some research to suggest that nervous people tend to blink a lot. So if she's doing that as well, that's a possible sign of nervousness. Remember, you should look for these signs in clusters, not individually. If she's doing a bunch of these things simultaneously, she's probably nervous around due to some underlying attraction. On the other hand, if she's doing only one of these tells, that's not as convincing. Number 4, she eats less in front of you. So this is kind of random and a lesser known one, but I remember one time I was on a date with some girl I met online. I suggested we get these mini chicken buns by Union Square. She agreed, we met up to introduce ourselves and ordered food. And I noticed that once the food hit the table, she was eating pretty slow. And she wasn't eating very much at all, like maybe 2 or 3 of those buns when I was easily putting away like 6 or 7. I didn't comment on it at the time, but after a few more dates and we started getting physical, she told me the reason she ate less in front of me on our first date was because she liked me and didn't want to seem unladylike. Now personally, I don't care how a girl eats in front of me. I actually think it's pretty cute when a girl goes in on some wings, so I told her that. But throughout the years, I've noticed this pattern emerge again over and over with girls that are into me. How they oftentimes eat less in front of me the first few times we hang out. And I guess from a girl's standpoint, it makes sense. Maybe they want to seem more feminine, or she feels it makes her look more attractive. Just like how some guys want to seem more masculine when they're around girls they like by doing things like flexing. In any case, I'm not the only person who's noticed this. Whenever I mention it to other guys I know, they say they start noticing it too when they go on dates with girls that end up being into them. Now, I don't think it's a girl's fault at all for doing this. In fact, I encourage you guys to make her feel more comfortable around you. However, it's still a good, reliable sign that she's into you. So that's it for the list, guys. To recap, the 4 signs a girl secretly finds you attractive that we talked about today are giving you shit tests, going out of her way or making excuses to see you, being nervous or awkward around you, and if she eats less in front of you. What'd you think of the list? What else would you add? Comment down below and let me know what you think. And as always, guys, if you want to grab my free 5-page PDF on the fundamentals of attraction, check out the description box below, where you can also follow me on IG. Now, next week I got something you're not going to want to miss, so make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Peace.